Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Strawberry Sundaes podcast. We have one of the best females in the dance at the moment. We've got Megan with us today. Megan, how are we?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? Good to be here.
Very good, very good. Let's get straight into it. Let's not keep the viewers waiting any longer. So if you want to just give a bit of an introduction about yourself and sort of the content you bring for anyone that may not know who you are.
My name is Megan, or Meg, whatever you prefer. I play Warzone, stream Warzone, and it's the only game I play, unfortunately, sometimes. Uh, yeah, that's really it.
I can see that there's a lot of love in the chat. That's what we like to see. Um, okay, so we'll go straight into Warzone. We'll go straight back to where So, have you always been a streamer on Twitch?
I haven't. It's actually I've had Twitch a long time, but I never really watched it. And then when lockdown happened, I was just literally so bored because I didn't have work or anything. So that is when I started to kind of watch Twitch a lot more, and was kind of new at the time. So
Yeah.
uh, I started watching a bit of Warzone, and it was Nick Merckx to begin with, and I just used to watch him quite a lot. And then happened to be playing a game, like literally just in a random game, and I think Angelica killed me in game. My friend said, "Oh, like that's a streamer." So I literally went into her stream, like and watched her, and I loved it. And that was like the first person I'd ever watched in like the Warzone community, and that's what made me want to stream. And yeah, it's mad because this time last year I literally had no idea who most people in the chat are, like anything like that. So it's really mad how it's all happened, really.
In such a short space of time as well. To get where
Yeah,
you are is
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. So it's literally been. I didn't even want to stream as well. It was in my head, and some people said to me that you should just stream, you should just stream, and I was just like, yeah, like I will. And I just bought a capture card, and then it was a capture card, and then it was a PC, and then it's like all the things that come with a PC. So yeah, it's been mad, to be honest.
So we'll go right back to sort of childhood and that sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
has games always been something that you've always been interested in?
Yeah, I would say yeah. I've got a big brother, and he's 6 years older than me, so um he's always played. He had his PS2, and like
Mm.
I was never really. He always had games that kind of I wasn't really allowed to play though, so it was like kind of like GT used to have GTA, and I always remember like I wasn't allowed to play it. The only thing I was allowed to do on GTA was uh Grove Street. I was not allowed out that street, and I was only allowed to stay in that street and like cycle the bike and like the cars, and that was all I was allowed to do. Because my mom didn't want me playing them. Uh, but yeah, it's really kind of my big brother that
Yeah,
that's how I play games and stuff like that as well. Yeah.
yeah. And has Call of Duty always been something then that you're? Is that something that your brother had as well, and it was something that you kind of jumped on as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think so. Had an Xbox 360. I got that for my Christmas, and that's when I played. I got COD 4, and that was the first COD I'd ever played. Um, so it kind of started from there, to be honest. I literally bought every COD, played every COD, but I never really played like serious. I was always just kind of like played pubs and with my
Yeah.
friends, and never really took it that seriously. To be honest, it was just fun for me. But I did go through a stage where I didn't play COD for years. I didn't play. I think it was from I can't remember the order, but I think it was when after Black Ops 3, and I think it was Infinite Warfare that came out, maybe. And it was like all the more jetpacks, and I just didn't enjoy it. So I didn't play that COD. I didn't play Advanced Warfare, and I didn't play the World at War one. I think it was called.
Yeah. World War Two.
So yeah, yeah, that one. So I
Yeah.
literally went through a stage of like 3, 4 years where I just didn't play COD. I didn't really play Black Ops 4 that much either. It's really Warzone that brought me back to COD really to like how much I love COD. I didn't play Modern Warfare multiplayer that much either. So
No.
it really is like the battle royale that kind of brought me back because when I didn't when I wasn't playing COD in those years, that's kind of when Fortnite was kind of came out, and that's how I got introduced to the kind of like battle royale side. So I think going from like from my view, like going from like a battle royale to then going back to playing like multiplayer on COD, it's just like I feel like I get so bored so easily now.
Yeah.
When I'm playing that, so definitely like Warzone's just brought back my love for COD 100%.
Yeah, I think multiplayer gets a bit more repetitive. I think you've
Yeah,
got
it
like
does.
Warzone, different scenarios and what not happening.
Yeah, I
So
think that is every game
yeah,
is different. I think, and that's why everybody loves it so much. And yeah, there's a lot that can happen as well, good and bad.
yeah, no, obviously, yeah. So yeah, so when obviously, like you say, when you came back to Warzone, was it a case of did you play it for a few months and then decide, what I want to stream, or was it a case of just hand in hand, kind of doing them both?
um, just when I first started playing Warzone, that I literally used to I had no idea. I was a bot really. Like I had no idea what I was doing. Uh I used to like sit in corners and be like terrified if people were coming after me. Like I didn't even know how to get my load out. But then I think kind of when lockdown happened, as I was saying, like I started watching Nick Merckx and I was watching how he played and like you get to know the map a lot more. So then that's how I became a bit more confident. And I think just from watching all the different streamers, is really how I've got better. Yeah, just literally, and I don't know. I used to be like a 1.8 KD or something, and ever just since just grinding the game and watching different people and how they play. Just yeah, the improvement's just been insane, really.
Yeah, I think, like you say, watching someone and trying to implement it into your own game is so good to do for like growth and whatever.
Yeah, it
I think
really
even
is.
with any game, to be honest, if you're willing to put the hours in and the time, to learn the
Yeah,
game, then obviously you are going to get better, aren't you?
yeah,
Have you, have,
definitely.
do you ever watch like? Have you got any videos from back in the day that like you watch back or?
I've only got a few to be fair, and it's from uh being on console. It's just like on my Xbox like captures.
Yeah.
I've got a few that I look back on and I'm like, I thought like I thought it was insane like what I done, and it's like this basic kill like it's just
Yeah.
mad to watch back like my movement like everything about the old clips I have. I'm like, oh, I kind of cringe because I'm like, what am I doing? Like I used to think those clips were like, oh my god, like look what I just done, and it was just
Yeah.
like the most basic thing to me now. So yeah, it is mad to see the difference.
Well, even with that though, like even the your players that are on your sort of 5 KDs, I'm sure that
Yeah,
everyone starts from somewhere, don't they? And especially like the clips side of things, you see people what they
yeah,
used to upload on TikTok back in the day and like onto their socials and whatever, where it was just like a couple of
yeah,
kills or a snipe or whatever, and then now
yeah,
you're seeing people kill like 10 people within a short space of
yeah,
time, and it's
yeah.
just a bit
I
crazy.
think it goes with the game
Yeah,
developing as well. Like you see all the movement, even from like the very good, like as you say, the 5 KD players, like their movement back then looks like awful now, but at the time that was just the way the game was. Like the side cancelling wasn't really a
yeah,
thing. It's just the way the game was developed as well.
yeah. Okay, so Warzone, your top
Yeah.
three loadouts. So what was your favourite
Top
metas?
three. Oh, I think the Kilo MP5 has to be number one.
Yeah,
Has to
yeah,
be. Think Emax and the Mac 10 was like one of my favorite.
yeah.
One of my favorites. It has to be. I loved the Emax. Like I was gutted when they nerfed the Emax. Um, Third one. I'm trying to think. Everything feels like so long ago. Um, this is might be quite controversial because people hated it, but I
Oh, here
loved the
we go.
Bruin. I loved the
Oh,
Bruin.
oh
I
no.
did. I did. I loved that gun. I just thought it was so fun to use.
Honestly think that's probably the worst loadout I've heard on the
Oh, I
podcast.
love it. I
You've
loved
got
that gun.
you had the M4, MP5 to choose from, the
See, to be
Growl.
fair, you need to give it to me. Like at the time when the M4 was like the meta, I didn't really play. Like
Yeah,
I was more of a watcher when that was a meta. So
we'll
the
let you
Bruin was
off.
the
We'll
Bruin
let you
was.
off.
I think it was more fun. Like I just found it so
Yeah.
fun to use. At least I didn't say DMR.
Oh yeah,
Come on,
true.
it
I
could be
mean,
worse.
yeah,
It
it
could
could
be
have been
worse.
worse. It could have been worse. So, we've got your current org. So your current org is London United.
Yes.
Is that your first org, or was that something that you had a few orgs before, or?
No, this is the first org I've ever been in. Actually, my best friend Lauren is in it also, so that's kind of how it came about.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, but it's been amazing so far. Like I love it. Being part of
yeah,
him, it's amazing.
yeah. I mean, shout out London. Yeah, London
Yeah,
United. They
definitely.
do some unreal things. Um,
Yeah, they do.
for the community and whatnot. Um, unbelievable org. So I mean, that says it for itself, really, and that shows, your talents as a streamer. That an org like that is your first org. Like,
Yeah,
you, you know,
I'm very lucky.
um,
Like I'm very lucky to be in the position that I'm in right
yeah,
now. It's just insane to me. Like
yeah. I mean, like you say, it's not come without hard work. So hats off to
yeah,
yourself. And the amount of love that this chat's going nuts. I'm trying to read it on my phone and I can't keep up. And so that again, that just shows though that the community that you've got and that you're growing is such an incredible community to come in and show love, especially when it's not even on, it's not you streaming, it's you coming and collaborating myself.
yeah,
So I mean that's again that's incredible as it is.
yeah.
Um, so like you say, you were on PC now and you
Yes, I
played
play.
Xbox first. Was that right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Yeah. Have you always been Xbox before the PC move?
always. Yeah,
Yeah.
always. uh, Xbox gang since like 2000 and honestly like 2000. I don't even remember when the first Xbox came out, but yeah, Xbox is always. I literally just bought the new Xbox Series X when I decided that I was gonna get a PC. So it literally, I've hardly used it. Um, I just like I think I got sick. I just like see the thing that tipped me over the edge was I was playing with a mate that was on PC
Mm,
and I was in one of those dark corridors on Warzone, and he said to me, "There's a guy on your right. There's a guy on your right," and I was like, "I literally can't see anything," but it was the FOV, so he literally seen the guy on the FOV,
yeah.
and I couldn't see him, and I died, and I was like, "Right, that is it. I'm getting it. I am buying a PC," and I literally went and he done all the specs for me. I think he's in the chat, Jimmy. Jimmy done all the specs for me, like sorted everything out for me. So shout out, Jim.
we we love that. We love
That's my
that,
day
Jimmy.
one right there.
We love that saving Meg from Ultimate Rage
Yes,
on the console. I'm still on PS4, so as you can imagine, Warzone isn't
yes.
the best place at the moment for me at the minute.
No, no, I can imagine.
So we're going to split this question up into two.
Yep.
The way that we do it is that we do one sort of community based, and then one sort of content based. So we'll go from that sort of a Warzone moment.
Okay.
So we'll go from sort of what was the best moment you've had to date with your community first.
Oh, it has to be winning the CMG 2v2 with Lynn. Has to be.
Yeah.
That was just like when I think back, I literally just watch it back sometimes because it's just like it's the most insane experience I've ever had. Like, see from like being up at like the tournament started at 11 o'clock at night, um, and I think we waited. We played two game. We played against two people, won, and we had to wait on either Huskers or Scumming. And I
Mm.
think we waited 2.5 hours. So it was like I think it was like 3:30, 4 o'clock at night, and I was just like, I had work the next day. I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do if like this takes. Like, I was just like, my head was just all over the shop.
Yeah.
And I remember we finally got to we had no reset. We were playing Aiden and Danny in the final,
Mm.
and I think it was like 5 o'clock. And I was like, oh my God, like perfect. Like, it's gonna be done in time for me finishing work. Like, this is great. And then we went into a game. First thing we dropped down, Len gets killed by a hacker, and I'm like, oh God, oh. So we had to reset. And then I think the second game, we got all the way to the end of the second game, and Aiden's internet cut out. So we had to then play from the hills we were at on the second game. So that was another reset. And then the third game, I'm sure, we just found it was because it was like 6 o'clock in the morning here. It was our
Mm.
host, and we couldn't find a game because it was that time in the
Yeah.
morning. I think so. It was taking like 10, 15 minutes for me and Len to find a game on our host. So then we finally found a game, and Len's internet cut out, like stream cut out, everything. And I was like, oh my God, like I am literally gonna miss work. But then like we won, so it was like it's just mad to think like it was such a long night. Like the emotions were just
Yeah.
like everywhere, and like just like see when Aiden died, and like I just looked over to my left monitor and like seen my chat going crazy. It was just like I had like 100 viewers, and like everyone was just going
Yeah.
mad, and it was just like it's just like what you like genuinely what you dream of, like as a streamer,
Yeah.
like moments like that. It's just like you can't beat them.
Wow. How was it to? How hard was it to stay quiet at that time in the morning? Because if that's me, I'm shouting
Yeah,
call outs.
yeah.
You know that
I mean, I
that's
think when Aiden died, I was just like, yes! And I think when I went upstairs after, I said to like my mom and dad, I was like, oh my God, like I won. And they were like, we thought so because you fucking woke us up. And I was like, oh, like, because I woke up, like when I shouted because it was so loud. But it was just like, there was so much relief when we won, to be fair.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it was
And I
just,
and I mean some of those names that you've just reeled off. You got like Scummen,
yeah,
Huskers, Aiden. People that are huge players
yeah,
within the Warzone scene, and you just
yeah.
brushed them off like like it's nothing. That you just
It's,
like yeah, we beat
yeah,
these. Yeah.
I had to do like a full TikTok of like me. Obviously, there's massive names, so pretty much the whole
Yeah.
tournament, I was kind of fangirling the whole time because
Mm,
I used to sit and watch all these players, and like
yeah.
it was just mad to me that I was in a tournament with him. But see, like when I was in that game with Aiden, it was just like I don't know, like I was just like the biggest fangirl, like. So yeah, it was just like even mad to me to be in like the same playing against Aiden. Never mind, like we won the tournament, so it's just like it's the most exciting experience. It really is.
Yeah. Because, like you say, were you picked up by Len, or did you get a spot and you picked Len up?
So it happened because the Mina Mendes co-ed tourney,
Yeah.
um, Len put a tweet out saying that he needed a duo, and literally, so there's loads of them in the chat that kept atting me and like giving vouchers and stuff like that. So he finally like came into my chat, and he followed me, and I remember even when like Len followed me, I was like, oh
Mm.
my God, like Len's just followed me, like oh my God. And he was like, oh, I'm like looking for someone to play this co-ed with, so like I'm just kind of in my chat. And I remember like like because I knew Len was watching me for this tournament, I remember I was like sweating, like my hands were shaking, like I could hardly like play the game. It was only like a pub, like we were only playing like
Yeah.
pubs, so I
Yeah.
was playing pubs with my friends. But I literally remember I was like, oh my God, like Len's in my chat, like, oh my God, oh my God. So but yeah, I think he'd messaged me because literally so many people vouched for me and said to give me a chance,
Mm.
and he did. And we I can't remember how far we got on the Mina Mendes tournament, but we played well together, and like, it just seemed to work. So he asked me. He had an invite to that CMG tournament, so he asked me if
Yeah.
I wanted to play. He didn't. Uh, to be honest, he thought I didn't want to play because he just assumed because it was like 11 o'clock at night and he knows I work weekdays. So he was, but I was like, nah, like let's just do it. Like
Let's
let's
do
do
it.
it.
Yeah.
And he was like, fair enough, let's go. And we done it and we won. So yeah, that's definitely the most experience for me.
That's like fate, isn't it? Really, that you're saying like, yeah,
Yeah,
let's just do it.
because
Let's just do
I've
it.
yeah, I've turned down tournaments before where they're just like too late for me. Like
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like this one, I was just like, yeah, like let's do it.
I'm a
And I had
strong,
no idea.
strong.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like who was in this tournament until we started playing it. Like I think it was like 2 minutes before the first game started, and then I seen like all the names, so I didn't actually know like Aiden.
Yeah.
I had no idea that that's the kind of people who are going to be in it either. So it was just like it was just mad.
I'm a strong believer for everything happens for a reason. So there was
Yeah,
clearly
definitely.
something that made you pushing you to stay, and to carry on
Yeah,
and play that. I mean,
yeah,
that's I
definitely.
mean that's a story in itself, really, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
like you
it is.
say,
I've never even really like told it like that before. So like even just saying it like out loud is just like mad. Like I just can't even explain it. Like it's genuinely like what every like streamer dreams of, really.
so I've just seen something pop up in the chat, and it has something that I've seen before. So we've got a few
Yes.
questions about your gamer Crocs.
Yes.
So do you want to talk us through that?
Surprisingly, I actually don't have them on right now. So Jack, you owe me a
J-
tenner. I actually don't have them on because I'm going out straight after this, which is the only reason. But yeah, I do literally wear Crocs like honestly from the moment I sit down and play Warzone to like honestly, they're just so comfy.
I think if you've
Literally.
not actually wore Crocs, you don't understand how comfortable they are.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
they
my god, they're
are,
the best.
and they literally
I
just slip on. Oh yeah,
They're so
I'm a
comfy.
big fan of Crocs.
I have to keep telling myself that it's not a personality trait to wear Crocs.
I'd seen it over Twitter, and then obviously Jack's just put it in, so I was like, I've got to ask.
I
Got to
think
ask.
that all started because I genuinely I won that tournament with Len and I had Crocs on. And I when I dropped like my PR, I got my first 30 bomb. I was wearing Crocs as well, so I think it's just kind of like it just kind of became like a running joke, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like, well, got to put the Crocs on. If you want to win, Crocs go on.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so we'll go to the other side. Now this might, again, like you say, that moment that you've mentioned was a huge moment, so this might slightly divulge into that. But the sort
Yeah.
of best gaming moment that you've had to date.
Hmm. I think probably that moment winning that tournament. Um,
Yeah,
it wasn't on stream, unfortunately, but like when I dropped that 30 bomb
yeah,
was such a good moment for me.
mm,
Um, I think so. Yeah, what Rach just said in the chat, like C playing, I support Rangers, so um, uh, Rach in the chat introduced me to a streamer called Malks, um, and he plays with like the Rangers players sometimes, so he plays with like Ryan Jack and stuff like that.
mm,
So he just asked me to play one day, and he was like, "Oh, we've got like a surprise guest on playing with us tonight," and it was Ryan Jack, and I still remember like it was just honestly like of it's like such a big deal to me. Like it might not be to
mm,
anyone else, but like playing with the the football team that I've supported my whole life, and like getting to play with the players. Like I was playing with Andy Firth as well, and
yeah,
Jacko is like Jacko comes in my chat sometimes as well, which is just insane to me. Like, and every time I play with him now, It's not even as if he's like he just like chats away to you as if he's like we're mates, and to me, like I'm just
Yeah,
like, oh my god, like that's Ryan Jack, like you know. So yeah,
yeah,
it's things like that, like playing with Rangers players, and yeah, just it's just I can't even believe like the situation that I'm in. Like it's
mm,
just mad to me. Like I just can't believe it. When I like talking about it now, I don't really ever talk about it like out loud. So like saying all these things, and like the raid by Aiden is another one. Like that was the most incredible moment. Because I remember my chat just went insane, and they were all like, "Run ads, run ads, run ads," and I was like, I don't even know how to do that. Like I don't know, but they just kept spamming. Like all I seen in my chat was
yeah,
like, "Run ads, run ads, run ads." We watch them and stuff like that. So like that was insane as well.
yeah. I mean, I think it was back last March or April.
Yeah,
And Mutex raided me for like 6,500 viewers, I think, or something.
yeah,
And that's still now like what? That's over a year and a bit now, and that's still
yeah,
like one of my best moments. You know,
yeah.
full on like froze, and I could barely speak, and
Yeah, yeah, it's like
it's
such a surreal moment when things
yeah.
like that happen. Like it's insane. It really is.
I think that shows though how special of a place gaming is, and especially like Twitch
Yeah,
in general, that brings so many people together. Like you say, you're playing casually with, Rangers footballers that, you
yeah,
know, you've supported your whole life, yet just talking to them like, like you've just been down the pub with them, you've been school with
yeah,
them or whatever, like, like you're good friends. I think it's crazy. I really
yeah.
do.
No, it is.
Um,
It definitely is.
so there's definitely, like we've spoken about, so many positives with Twitch. But obviously, there's also the negative side of things as well.
Yeah,
Especially with we spoke about before we came on, sort of the female, um, you know, being a female on these kind of apps can have, a lot of people being very negative towards.
yes,
Um, if is it something that you've ever someone's ever? I know, you know, like I say, with females, it's very a lot more consistent that people come into the chats and be negative.
yeah.
With horrible
Um,
comments.
I think I've been very lucky in the fact that there's not been that many times where it's happened to me. Um, but I do know, like, it happens to people that, like, I almost see something, like, every day about, like, a girl, like, putting something on and, like, a guy commenting something bad, like, it's like I have had people come in my chat, and say the usual, like, "Back to the kitchen," like, all that kinda
Yeah.
stuff. Eh, there's, like I think it was quite a while ago now, to be fair, but I was playing in custom games, and hadn't really started playing with anyone at the time. So I just joined like this random team, and it was quads. And I remember as soon as I joined, they started basically chatting shit,
Mm.
calling me like horrible names, saying horrible stuff, like, and it was it was as if like they were taking turns to see who could be funnier to them. So it
Yeah.
was as if like one would say something, and then the others would laugh, and then it would be like a competition to see who could be the funniest within their little group.
Mm.
Um and I remember it was in Angelica's customs. So I went and said to her what they were being nasty towards her as well. So I remember I went and said to her, and they got banned from her chat and stuff like that. But I remember one of the guys messaged me and was like, I wasn't saying anything bad. I was just laughing. And I just like I didn't even reply, but I just thought to myself like that is one of the problems.
Yeah. That's
That people
part of the
think
issue.
that people think that they can just laugh along with it and not think that they're involved in it. Um yeah,
I
the
don't.
people go girls go through so much on Twitch, I think, and it was like those tweets the other day that all happened and all that drama as well. Um, I think it just comes. I think it's like it comes from a place of jealousy, and it comes from them trying like what happened to me, like them trying to be funny, seem funny to their friends, so they keep saying things because it's funny quote, you know?
Yeah, I think, like you say, I think a lot of these people are so uneducated and so,
Yeah,
like you say, jealous of the people that are in better positions than themselves. You've got people, females that are doing this full time, gaming and whatnot, and
yeah,
playing with some, like you say, like yourself, playing with someone like Lennon. These people that are probably, giving, you these disgusting comments are
yeah,
people that would, quit their day job to play with someone like Len. And
yeah,
I think, like I say, a lot of it does come from just jealous individuals, um, that don't
yeah,
appreciate the fact that, women can be just as successful as men.
yeah,
Um, and I think, though, like you say, I think, what kind of sparked it between me and yourself was the recent tweets that we seen.
yeah,
Um, and we both sort of agreed that it was a topic that needs to be discussed.
yeah,
Um, I think personally, the only way that we could, get this to stop, obviously, the community is brilliant as it is. You'll always have people in the chat that,
yeah,
will ultimately defend you till the death. So, that's always good to have there. But for me, people get let off way too easy with Twitch, Twitter, even
yeah,
Instagram. And that's not just for comments towards females. That's, racism and all that kind of thing. But we're not going to get too deep
yeah,
into it. But
yeah,
having something like a platform like that and not having to have some form of identification to show who you actually are is
mhm,
just mind-boggling. I
yeah,
had
I mean,
I used to do weekly giveaways, and I know this is completely different to your scenarios, but I had a group of about 4 or 5 lads, and three of them won the giveaway. And every single week they would come in my chat and be grateful and whatever and get involved. And there was one week
yeah,
where none of them won it, and they just went off on one. Um, bearing in mind, I mean, I'm not I'm a lover, not a fighter, but these are all people that had given me their address to send me all their details, all their merch to, all these prizes to, whatnot. And I could have been anyone. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I could have. It's, but I'm obviously not that sort of person. But they were making accounts for, you know 8 to 10 weeks every single
yeah,
day, like different accounts in my chat. And you're thinking, well, and that's from a male's perspective, and that's such a small minority of people. Whereas from a female's perspective, I see it all the time. I see it in your chat. I see it in other people's chats, and I see it all the time.
yeah,
And like you say, even on Twitter, you see it every other day. It's
yeah.
just
It
disgusting.
is it like being a mod and uh Angelica's chat made me realize how bad it is. That like the comments that people write is just like they think it's acceptable, and it's that once again it's that thing of like a group of guys will come in and you can tell that they're all together, and you can
Yeah,
tell that they're all talking and they're like, "Oh my god, you write that." And then one of them gets banned and they keep it going for like honestly, like they just keep going and going and going.
yeah,
And it's like it's almost like it's a hobby for some of them. Like it genuinely feels as if like that's what they want to do with their life. It's like go in a girl's Twitch chat and just like be negative.
yeah.
It's like it baffles me when people are like that. I think you like I remember the first kind of comment I had. It was like I killed someone in game, and they came into my chat, and they started just saying stuff like oh you're ugly, like blah blah blah. And I think because it was the first time it happened to me, I was like, oh my god, like that actually like hurt. Like
Mm,
I was like, oh my god, like that was like I literally don't know this person, whatever. But I did get obviously you get over it because it just happens. Like to me now, I see something like that, and I almost like kind of just troll them back. I just kind of like fight back at them, but it's
Yeah,
it's it must get like for bigger girl streamers, it must get so boring. Like it's the same kind of people that do it all the time, and you see even like on like for like guys as well. Like you see people make Twitch new Twitch accounts with their name, calling them like different names in the name, and then following that certain streamer so that that comes up. Like that you've, it's just like I don't
yeah.
understand why people do it. Um,
I think
yeah, it's
yeah,
just
like it's just small-minded individuals, isn't it, really.
yeah,
I think that's the only way to describe people like that. Um,
yeah,
we'll come back to a lighter note though. Like you say, it was
yes,
something that we definitely needed to cover.
yeah,
Um, because I don't think if it's not spoken about enough, it's not going to change.
nah,
And I think that's a perfect platform, to kind of discuss this. But like I say, back on the brighter notes.
yep.
So we've got two final questions, and then obviously the mystery question, which we ask all our guests. So the best person that you've had the pleasure of working with within the scene and why?
Um, Probably have to be Len. It would.
Yeah.
Um, just like the way he was with me from the first time we played, like that 2v2 Mira Mendes was the first 2v2 I'd ever played. So he was like really taking a chance on me, really. I'd never played in a 2v2. I'd never played like that big of a tournament. So the way he was literally just so, I was so nervous. And I don't think I'd ever really told him like how nervous I was, but like I was freaking out. Like before it, I was like,
Mm,
I don't think I can play. Like this was all just to myself. Obviously, I was like, I don't know if I can play. Like, did I just say I can't play? Uh, but from the moment I went into the Discord with him, he was so like nice to me, and he
yeah.
literally talked me. He makes it so easy for me because uh he talked me through the full game. Like anything I was unsure about, he just was so he was never annoyed at me if I died. He was like, "Don't worry, like we'll do this, 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 and this," and I would be like, "Right, okay." So yeah, and like ever since then, he's just like I just think he's so humble, and like he fully
Yeah,
deserves all the success he's getting. Um, because he's just such a nice guy. And yeah,
definitely.
we'd never played together before, so
Yeah. I mean that's in itself, isn't it? You've never played with this person before. You go in their Discord and straight away they're so, like you say, humble. I mean,
yeah,
these are huge streamers as well. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
to be so, like you say, opening, humble, down to
yeah,
earth, to play, that's a credit in itself. So
yeah,
we're going to flip
definitely.
this on its head slightly. So if you could work with someone that you haven't worked with previously, who would it be and why?
Um, I've thought about this question a lot, and there's not like one. I can't pick on a specific person. That there's
It is,
like loads for like different reasons.
yeah,
Uh,
it's quite a difficult question to kind of get.
yeah, I think one of them has to be Tommy because I just love Tommy, to be honest. I just think he's
Yeah,
so entertaining. Like whether he's just playing like pubs. And he's in one of those trolley moods. He's so funny to watch. And then when he goes from like that to then playing in like the biggest 2v2s and just slaying the full lobby, and it's just like insane to watch. So it would probably have to be Tommy for me.
yeah. I mean, he's done it all really, hasn't he? Competed, went
Yeah.
to Warzone and whatever, and like you say, he's such a funny, and again, not such a humble person.
Yes, that's the biggest thing for me is how humble he is. Like he's just like a nice guy,
Mm,
which is a bonus to how good he is at the game also.
yeah. Okay, right. So Here it is, the mystery question. So,
Oh no.
so you're stranded on an island. You can take one person from the community with you, and you can also take three items. Now, the person from the community can be someone that, like, all of us will know,
Mhm.
or someone that, like, you can relate to with your chat. So if it's someone that's in your chat or like your mods or whatever, like, you know, we'll take that as well. So you get one person and three items.
Oh, one person. Oh,
This is always tough because you're stuck. So you've got to
yeah,
pick
I'm stuck.
someone that you can, that like
I
you won't
know.
drive, that won't drive you
That won't
insane.
drive me insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nobody in my chat then. Oh God. So one person and three items.
Hmm.
Right. Right. Oh. Oh, nervous. Right. This isn't favoritism, but I would take my bestie Lauren because she is annoying, but she's not that annoying. I feel like
Yeah.
I could withstand her annoyance. And then obviously my three items would be my Crocs,
Yeah.
my phone, and a can of Iron Brew. Boom.
So we'll give you an ultimate supply of iron brew. We'll be nice. We're nice on this
Yeah.
island.
Yeah, that's
You
fine
know,
then. I'll be happy. Happy. That'll be
we're
me.
not
So
savages. So you've got iron brew, your phone, and we'll give you a bit of electricity for that as well. We won't let it run out. And your Crocs.
that's
Crocs are a
fine.
no-brainer, really, aren't they? They need to
You
go.
can't go. Yeah, you can't go anywhere without Crocs. That's just.
Uh,
How could you
and
go
then
to
we've,
an island and be stuck and not have Crocs?
well, I think that's it, isn't it? Really, I think people have been answering this wrong because
Yeah.
all the people have said, is water, you know, cleaning products
Oh, nah, nah, nah.
and
None
like
of that. Literally,
swords to hunt, but
nah.
you've just gone straight with Crocs. The
Crocs,
eyebrow.
Iron Brew in my phone.
See, you could literally be sat, on the beach with your Crocs, bottle of iron brew on your phone. You can't really complain, can you? To
Yeah,
be honest.
watching Twitch. It's like,
Luxury island,
yeah,
luxury.
luxury. Yes.
That is all the questions for today. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for
This has
having
been
me. It was,
something that I've been excited for days.
yep,
So we keep talking about it through DMs, and I kept saying, yeah, the excitement is there.
yeah.
Thank you so much again for coming on, sharing your
Thank you for having
experiences.
me.
Everyone in the chat, thank you so much for coming and showing us both love. All the new follows, the subs, everything like that. It's been really appreciated. I will be uploading it to YouTube and to Spotify straight away. So for anyone that missed part of the podcast, you can catch up there. And I'll make sure that I message Megan, get all of her socials as well for that. So if you do need to follow, make sure you do on all the
Yep.
socials. Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you for
Peace.
having me. Bye bye.